welcome back to another video. It is time again to do another payday routine and monthly budget recap. We got some finances to go through. If you're new to my channel, my name is Allison. I'm 29. I post a lot of videos about my personal finances. I like to share how I budget my paycheck. And the last few years, I've been on a debt payoff journey. So I've been working on paying off all of my debt, my credit cards, my student loans, my car loan, all of that. And now we're kind of moving into more of a savings journey and just like feeling like I'm in the best financial spot that I can be for my age and like our goals that we want. I am married. I don't really combine my finances with my husband just yet. I know that's controversial, but it is what it is. I work in healthcare. I'm an hourly employee. I get some overtime, like not a lot. Yeah, I make money from social media, but when I do my paycheck breakdown, I'm doing it just from my income that I get from my full-time job. When we take a look at my overall budget, you'll see some of the income that I make from social media as well. And that usually is just sort of what I've been using to save and pay off debt and like do whatever. Anything like fixed expenses, bills, whatever, I will budget that with my actual paycheck, and then anything extra it's just that it's extra and it goes towards savings and like reaching our goals. With that being said, let's get into the paycheck breakdown portion of the video. My drink of choice today is a crisp apple Olipop because I need to cool it on the energy drinks, and that flavor is so good. This was the paycheck for September 26th, second paycheck of September. Basically, what I'll do is look at anything that's coming out between the 26th and October 9th. That's the 2-week period between this paycheck and next paycheck. My income for this pay period was $2,119.14. I did have $110.01 carry over from my last paycheck. That's money that I didn't spend from my last paycheck breakdown that's carrying over into this week. So then usually what I do is add those two numbers together, and that gives me $2,229.15 to budget with for the next 2 weeks. Well, something did change a little bit this pay period, but that's just because we had to pay for something for the apartment, and then our landlord is like reimbursing us. But instead of him just paying us back, we're taking it out of this next month's rent. Usually from this paycheck, I would save $450 for rent, but I'm actually only saving $200 towards the rent because we're only gonna pay him $600 for rent. It's normally $850. So $200 for the rent, and then $200 into my emergency fund. Doing pretty well there. I'll do an update, my savings update at the end of this video. Then into our joint savings account that we're using for a down payment on a house, I put $700. My minimum like standard is $500 now, but because I didn't put as much towards the rent, I put extra into the house saving fund because that's kind of the whole point. That's our main goal. And if we're not spending that money on housing, like this housing, we might as well save it for our future house. So I did put $700 into our joint savings account, and then $150 into our grocery account. And then our phone bill is $200, so I do pay that for both of our phone and internet. That's phone and internet because we have both through AT&T because we have fiber internet here, so that is everything included. And also our car insurance is $200 a month, and I pay that as well. I've said this in a few videos in the past. I don't think I've mentioned it recently really, but I do pay for a lot more of the bills and the household things right now just because I am in a better financial spot than my husband, and I'm fine doing that. Like, I'm fine doing that for us. I feel like it's so funny because if it was the opposite way and the man was paying for more, it like isn't a big deal. But if the woman's paying for more, it's somehow a big deal. Like, I worked really hard to pay off my student loans and my car and all of that stuff. And I make a little bit more money than him right now. So it's like, why would I not pay for more things so that he can also work on paying off his student loans? That's just what makes sense to me. I have no problem being the breadwinner, the sugar mama. I'm just kidding. But obviously I make money from social media as well. So it's like, why would I not be making money for the both of us at this point? We've been together for almost 10 years. What's mine is his, what's his is mine. We're together. Again, we don't have everything combined right now. We have slowly started combining some of our stuff. Like in my mind, it's like, even if we were to combine stuff, more of like, because I make more of my money would be going towards the bills anyway. You know what I mean? But that's beside the point. That's just for the people who are gonna comment about me paying for more things. But okay. Then, as I mentioned, subscriptions, those kind of change a little bit throughout the month, those change a little throughout like how it breaks down, but I have 5 this pay period. There's Hulu, which is $2.99, CapCut is $9.99, Apple is $2.99, my Oura Ring is $6.35, and Netflix is $17.99, and so my total subscriptions is $40.31. For my cats, I'm gonna budget $35. Gas this pay period, I'm actually gonna budget $95 because I did take a trip up to visit my parents yesterday, but my parents do live like 5 hours away, so I did have to spend quite a bit on gas. So I should only need 1 more tank of gas between now and like my next paycheck. I'm also getting my nails done next weekend. That's pretty much a once a month thing. I try to go every 3.5 to 4 weeks, so that I'm only budgeting for that once a month. It is a little more expensive. I budget $80 because I get structured gel manicures. They stay on, they last, but they are a little more expensive, but I love my girl. She does such a good job. Lastly, I'm gonna put $50 into our home essential category, which is the new category. Someone suggested I call it home essentials. This is just gonna be things that I'm saving for the house, because at the same time, like, yeah, it would be nice to save everything for like the down payment, but then we also wouldn't have money for like furniture for inside the house. In general, we're gonna be keeping like most things, but obviously going from like a small 2-bedroom apartment to a full-on house, you're gonna need more things. Just slowly starting to save a little bit as the time goes on, so we can buy those things and not feel like stressed about like spending money on those things. Like we'll at least have a little bit saved and I'll feel better about that. So it's just crazy. It's crazy to me that I'm thinking of all these things and like it's all kind of coming together. I made a short form video on this just recently and it just like feels so crazy that it's actually like almost time to buy a house. Like I genuinely didn't think that this day would come. It felt very far-fetched not that long ago, or at least like it felt possible, but like it would have been a struggle, and now it seems possible and it won't be like that much of a struggle. So I'm happy with all the progress that I've made. I'm so proud of myself for like putting in all the effort and energy that I did to like fix my finances and make them like normal, I guess, like to feel like I'm in a good position and I'm not going to be overwhelmed and not going to be house poor and just like content where I'm at. Just know that it's possible. It takes time, it takes energy, it takes effort, but it is possible to get out of a financial situation that you feel like you're maybe stuck in. You can do it. I can do it, you can do it, we can do it. So anyway, if we add all of that up, that's all of the things that I'm budgeting for this pay period. Add all of that up, it comes to $1,950, and then if we subtract that from the $2,230 that I had to budget with, that leaves me with about $280 for the next 2 weeks. And again, that is just extra because we have food budgeted for, we have the cats, we have gas, like everything's pretty much budgeted for. That's, you know, that's if like we want to go out to eat, if I want to get a coffee. Honestly, what I've been doing is buying stuff for the house. If I get towards like the end of the pay period and I still have some money left over, I've either been saving it or starting to look to buy things for the house. So that's the budget. I'm feeling good. I feel happy with that. Obviously got a good amount into savings. Just I'm still able to budget for everything that I want. All right, next on the list, I'm gonna add some of this stuff into my spreadsheet because this is how I track for the month. Typically, I track weekly and like paycheck budgeting on my phone, and I do the green check marks once something's paid for and I know that it's like out of my account. But then I use an actual like budgeting spreadsheet when I'm tracking for the month and seeing where all of my expenses got like where all the money goes, what categories I'm overspending in, things like that, how much I've saved total for the month. I use the yearly 2.0 budget tracker from Coplenty. I've been using it maybe since midway through last year, so this year's exciting. It'll be the first time I've used it for a whole year. And then there's an annual totals tab, so we'll be able to like look at the overview at the end of the year, which is going to be really, really cool. So first thing I'm going to do is add in some of this stuff from this paycheck and any other expenses that I know have come out for September already. As I'm filming this, it is only the 28th of September. So there's like 2 more days of the month. I'm not sure that, I don't expect that I'll spend much more in the month. So this should be pretty accurate of like how much I spent and saved and all of that for the month. So in paycheck 2, I'm going to put $2,119.14. And I believe I have everything else in there. I did end up getting 2 brand deal payments, so that was really nice. I got a bunch of extra income this month, so that was really, really nice. And then down here, I will also add in the $200 that I put into my emergency fund and the $700 that I put into the house fund. And then I just have a couple other expenses that I'm going to add in really quickly. And then I should be done for the month. September was a really good month. I made more than I was expecting because it's really hard just predicting when you're going to get paid out for certain brand deals. So I usually just don't include it. And then when I get it, it's nice because it's just extra and it's a surprise. And again, I don't really budget based on any of my social media money. I budget everything based on my paycheck from my full-time job. So bills were spot on. Subscriptions were close. I did cancel one of my subscriptions this month, so that was a little lower. Expenses were a little higher, but I will kind of show you why it's higher. It's not necessarily extra spending. Now that I've been getting like kind of consistent extra money on social media, I've added something into my budget that I'll explain when we go through my expenses. And then obviously put a lot of extra towards savings because, again, that is the main goal right now. Anything extra towards savings, so any of this extra social media money is going towards my savings. But let's take a look at expenses because this is where we see like the most difference in budgeting because it's really hard. It's hard to budget correctly for every single category, but I do my best. Groceries, I was under budget. I think there was just a weekend where we went away and we didn't really spend anything on groceries, so that checks out. Dining out was a little over. That's because I ended up buying some crumble cookies for work and I put that in dining out category because it was, buying food out. That's why that's a little bit over. Gas, I was a little bit over. We did like a decent amount of travel this month. I went up to my parents' house twice, so I did spend extra on gas, but I spent $0 on shopping. Beauty was a little bit over, not too bad. Entertainment, travel, and gifts were all 0. I thought I was gonna end up spending a little bit more on gifts, but I didn't. Pets was a little bit under. Health was 0. Snacks was a little bit over. Again, that's because when we travel, I tend to put anything that like I buy for the road, like any snacks that I buy in this category. That was a little bit over. Coffee was under budget, which is good. I'm so surprised at how much of a difference it's been for me not spending money on coffee. Like, I feel like at the beginning of the year, I was spending so much on coffee, or even last year, the end of last year. Golf was 0. Home, I spent a little extra, but again, that's because I'm trying to start slowly buying stuff for the house and, any extra money I've been trying to use in this category versus like shopping. So I'm not mad about that, and I'm happy that I'm slowly starting to get stuff. It's gonna make me feel way less overwhelmed when we finally buy a house. Miscellaneous was like spot on. Car other was a car wash. Amazon was right on. Books, I bought no books this month, which is good because I don't need any books. And then this category is the one that I was mentioning that we've slowly incorporated into this budget. Again, because I consistently make a decent amount from social media, I decided that I wanted to help my husband even more. Like, I do help him by paying some of the bills, but I wanted to help him by giving him some extra money every month to help pay off his credit card faster. Because again, our main goal is to apply for a loan for a house, the pre-approval process in February. And if both of us can have almost no debt by that time, that would be amazing. He would still have student loans, but I'm not too worried about that. I've decided that anytime I get paid from a brand deal or TikTok or YouTube, I'll take a percentage of that and give him some money, because why not? I paid off my stuff. Why would I then be so selfish and not help him pay off his stuff? So this month I was able to give him $850, which I'm so happy, and I'm happy to be able to help him like that, So that was really, really exciting. I'm really happy to be helping him, and I know that me helping him is helping us. I needed to help myself first to get myself in a good financial situation, and then now I'm in a position where I can help him. Was really happy about that, but that's why my budget was over by about $830, because I ended up giving him some extra money. So if we take that out, I actually was pretty spot on with my budget. Last category is savings. Again, a lot of the extra money from the budget went into these accounts, which is, again, awesome. I put $750 into my emergency fund and $2,450 into the house saving fund. Really exciting stuff. We're getting there. We're moving right along, saving a lot more money, and yeah. I'm so happy that I'm able to budget like this now. That was the budget for September. I'm gonna quickly set up my new budget for October, and I'm gonna put it at $2,150 as my expected. TikTok, I think it's gonna be close to $430, and then $175 from YouTube. And again, I'll leave everything else blank. I actually don't have any pending brand deal payments anyway. Then I'll copy over all of my bills, change the dates. I will change this to $600 because, as I mentioned, I saved for the rent for October in the month of September. So that was kind of what I was mentioning. Our rent is going down just a little because we paid for something out of pocket, phone and internet. My fitness membership is going to be $0. I did cancel that so that I could save even more money. And then car insurance bills are super, super low this month. And then I'll copy over my subscriptions, and everything should be the same. I'm gonna put this Blink one at $0 because that was our camera system and I canceled that one. So again, fixed expenses pretty low. And then for expenses, I will copy over all of this and then just adjust as needed. Groceries, dining out, fuel, shopping. I'll bring shopping down to $50. Beauty, entertainment, travel, $0. Pets, health, snacks, coffee, maybe I'll do $25. Golf, home, I'll leave at $150. Miscellaneous, car, Amazon, books. I'm gonna try to give my husband $500 for his credit card because that's kind of the baseline is what I want to give him, but it all depends kind of on how much extra I can make from social media. So expenses are looking good. Emergency fund, I'm gonna do $400. House fund, I'll put $1,300. And then usually to check to make sure I'm on track here is I look at this number, and this is telling me that I have about $400 left over. So based on my income and my bills and subscriptions and expenses and savings, I would be left with about $400, and that seems good for me. I feel like that's a pretty solid budget for the month. Everything low, savings high is the motto for the next few months. That looks good. I'm happy with that. Last thing before I go, because I keep talking way too much, is my savings updates. I was able to put a little bit extra into my emergency fund this month. So my current emergency fund is $4,200 and my goal is $5,000. The first goal is $5,000 to feel comfortable. For my 10K savings challenge, I'm now now at $2,650 out of $10,000. The goal was between like September and February, I wanted to save an extra $10,000 to use towards the house. As of right now, I'm at $2,650, so we're doing really well. Thank you guys so much for watching. Love you guys. See you in the next video.